Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Trading Bitcoin with your host, Tone Vase. Like I said, I'm trying to do these two a day, which is not easy, by the way. I mean, I'm at a conference all day long. Um, it's about 11 o'clock at night here. I left the after party a little bit early. I'm at the Blockchain Economic Forum here in Singapore. Um, the entire conference is completely ICO like focused. I don't know. It's a little frustrating for me. Like well, like that place really needs a Bitcoin booth. And then people will come up to, well, what is this? Well, have you heard of Bitcoin? Because half of those people apparently haven't. Um, so, I don't know, not much to say. I'll be speaking on a bunch of ICO panels, so we'll see how that goes. So tomorrow at the conference is the day where everyone talks about the use cases of blockchain. Yet I'm not speaking on that day, but I'm speaking on the day of all the ICO day. So I don't know. I talked to them. I'm like, look, guys, I should probably speak tomorrow. But anyway, we'll see. Tomorrow is also the Super Bowl, so there probably will not be a video tomorrow morning because I'm going to try and figure out where the hell I'm going to watch the Super Bowl at 7 o'clock in the morning. Uh, in it would be 7 in the morning when it starts here uh, in Singapore. So unless I wake up in about 4 or 5 hours to do another video, if the Bitcoin price isn't doing much, I'm not going to do it. But otherwise, I'll do a video early in the morning. All right, let's just jump on it. So please go to my website, libertylifetrail.com, educational tools, learn trading. Please be an expert at sections 1 to 5. And Section 6 talks about this random number generator that I use on top of my candles. If you need more, hands-on trading, you can check out my consulting section. If you're looking to, use the syndicator yourself, or check out one of my seminars coming to a town near you eventually. I'm so behind. I mean, people are taking selfies. A few people recognize me at these seminars. I haven't gone through my comments at all. Just like I said, I've been at the seminar all day. Let's just go straight to the price of Bitcoin. This is a little disappointing. I really wanted this week to end. So I believe it's 10 a.m. on Sunday in New York. So that means that the week is going to close in about 9 hours. So unless there is a massive $1,000 bounce in the next 7 hours, closing below 9,600 is not going to look well for Bitcoin based on weekly charts. Okay, so I'm looking at this candle in complete independence of all other time frames, and this candle is telling me that there is a serious potential for 5 more weeks of downside. Okay, the weekly remains bearish. Now the daily and the 4 hour were the ones that gave us this beautiful $7,600 resistance. But it is still possible that this bounce is more of a dead cat bounce than a full-blown reversal. We are coming up to a very critical point, and I will talk about this when it comes to the daily and the 4 hour charts. But the weekly chart never actually made it out of bearish territory. The weekly chart made it out of bearish territory for maybe an hour or two when the height of the rebound was at 9,500. But it needed to close there or go a little bit higher. So the weekly is actually back to being looking very ugly and very, very bearish. Okay, so there's not much else I can tell you guys about the weekly. Here's the daily. The daily was hanging around this breakout point of 9,200, but it's clearly not holding. So there is not that much good news. I believe, did I put this back on the, yeah, I'm back to the 200-day moving average here. Okay, so the good news is the 200-day moving average continues to rise, and we're still see the daily. We're on a third day, though this day still has a lot of time left. You can see how for the third day in a row, we have a higher low. So that's the good news. The bad news is that if we close today below, what was the close on this day here? Let me see. If we close today below $8,900, which is, I mean, you never know. We can move $400 in either direction. But if we close at current levels or in the vicinity of current levels, we are closing at a new daily low. Okay. That is not bullish at all. Okay. We need to have higher closes. Now, this is once again another one of these situations where the intraday low is higher, telling us that the rebound is still intact, but the close will most likely be lower, telling us that the rebound is not intact. Okay, so there's still half a day to go, but this is a little bit troublesome here. Okay, well, when we get to the 4-hour chart, we'll look at some, more detail. So the volume did not really follow through, and even though this is falling on lower volume, um, this is starting to look a little bit scary, because if we get below 8,000, uh, I may have to lower my targets way below 7,000, and the downtrend is still intact. Okay, so the bad news is that if we close here, the other thing is that the daily, according to the time indicator, is on a red 6, looking for a red 9. Again, when the triangle broke down from 10,000, my perfect scenario would have been, you go up a little bit and then you collapse a little bit later, with the 7,500 coming on day 9 of the downtrend, not day 4 of the downtrend. Okay. And I was still hoping to see a 9, but not a 9 at new lows. So let me tell you what I'm not expecting. I'm not expecting another chance. See, look, trading isn't easy, right? Like, no one said trading was going to be easy. But what I can tell you is that you're not going to get another chance to buy the dip at 75, 7,600. That's not going to happen. So either we immediately reverse from current levels and shoot up to 9,500 and beyond, or if we don't, if in the next 7 hours we start closing in the low 8,000s, I will probably have to come up with a new low end target all the way down to $5,000 and probably lower. I mean, this may get somewhat ugly. Okay, this is not looking good. Um, if you are an active trader and you managed to catch the 75, $7,600 dip, this is the time you take full profit off this trade, and you can always get back in on a breakout. All right, but this is starting to look pretty bad. Now, here's what's working in my favor, and as weird as this is about to sound, when I was calling for a $7,600 bottom, everyone was calling me an idiot, saying that there was a base of 10,000 and we're not going lower. Now that we've made it to 7,600, my entire Twitter feed is full of people saying that this is not the bottom and that we're going lower. Okay, the same people that were telling me we're not going lower than 10,000 are now telling me that we're going lower than 7,500. So now that everyone is bearish, there's a high probability that the bottom is actually in. So I have not given up. on 7,600 being the low for 2018. I have not given up yet, but by tomorrow, that can completely change. All right. So there you go. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. Again, more good news on the 4-hour chart is that you have a 13 right here with a green arrow. The bad news is that if we go if we start making new lows here, right, there is another 9 right there. So this 9 potentially has already kicked off a brand new countdown to 13, which is now on number 3. So the next number you're going to see here, if we have another down candle, and in 30 minutes, there's going to be another candle. This video is going to be short, and so I'm not going to be here in 30 minutes to see the next candle. But if the next candle is lower than this candle, you're going to see a 4 here on the countdown, right? That's about it. Like I said, this blue line would have been your initial stop loss off of this off of these green lines. I may have I might have raised it. I might have not raised it if I was actually trading instead of being at conferences. But either way, I would not be. I mean, if you're a long-term holder, you're a long-term holder. It doesn't matter. If you're a long-term holder, this is not a bad time to pick up Bitcoin, because even if it falls again, it's going to come back here fairly quickly. But as a trader, you have to get a little bit nervous, because the moment you go below this red line right here, there is this is a line at $8,200 on Bitfinex. You have to assume that we're going significantly lower, right? Because you're not going to get a second chance to buy the dip at exactly the same level. It has to be either higher or significantly lower. And there isn't much room higher than 7,600 when the price starts to fall into the vicinity of 8,000. And don't forget, 8,000 was already secondary support for Bitcoin. I mean, 8,200 on Bitfinex, 8,000 on other exchanges. So if we get back to 8,200 on Bitfinex, 8,000 on other exchanges, it is no longer as strong of a support as it was, on February 2nd. If it gets there on February 4th or February 5th, it is now significantly weaker support, most likely to crack. And since there's no such thing as a double bottom on short-term basis, we're most likely to crack 70. Basically, the moment I get a 4-hour candle or a daily candle closing below 8,200 on Bitfinex and 8,000 on like Coinbase and maybe 8,100 on Bitstamp, that's it. I have to start evaluating another leg to the downside and see where the next high probability bounce will be. Now, ideally, that bounce would come on another capitulation with a similar daily candle like February 2nd, a nice hammer candle. And hopefully that comes 3 days from now on a 9, or the candle after the 9, or maybe the candle before the 9 in 2 days. Okay, let's go to the 1-hour chart. I drew this parallel channel this morning. Let me see if I can just extend it, right? I drew this parallel channel this morning between 9,000 and 9,500. And I said, as long as we're in this channel, we're okay. And the longer we stay in this channel, we have the higher the probability is that we break out to the top of the channel. And when we got this, we had this 9 to the downside at 9 p.m. Eastern time on February 3rd. Then we reversed and we had a 9 in the other direction at 2300. I'm sorry, 9. The other one was 9 a.m. Eastern. Sorry. And then at 2300 Eastern on February 3rd, we had a 9 to the upside. Now, one of the things that the 9 to the upside tells you is a 1 to 4 candle correction, and we had 2 candle correction, and then a continuation of the downside to a 13, and we're now on a 5. There's also a 7 on the setup, so maybe 2 more hours of downside, and we can get a 9 buy opportunity. But you want that to stay above this dotted line. There's a dotted line right here in the vicinity of 8,300. That dotted line stands for setup trend. Again, please go and read section 6 of the educational tools. So if you want to learn about what that dotted line is, I mean, a lot of these links explain it. Probably this one is the best one, the Bloomberg Market Essentials. So if we do setup trend, there, the setup trend, okay. So my dotted line is this, it's the setup trend line, right? And the way the setup trend line works is, here's the setup trend line from this down trend to a 9. And if you get a 9 in the opposite direction above the setup trend line, it's more likely that it kicks off the setup, the countdown to 13. So going back to the hourly chart, this 9 to the downside ideally should stay above this dotted line. And if it does, it's more likely that this 9 would lead to a full reversal. If we get a 9 below this dotted line, it's more likely that we're going to kick off another countdown. Okay. This is a very good volume spike, but clearly it wasn't enough to bring it to the upside. So I mean, we have to bounce right here, right? Like if we do not bounce in the next couple of hours, we get very close to the last low, and if we break and if we get here, the probability is that we're gonna go down, and if we go down, then this will not hold. So this is like the last chance to have the $7,600 bounce. Okay, so let's see what happens. Maybe I'll do a video before I go out at 7 a.m. and look for where to watch the Super Bowl, but this is looking pretty rough right now. Okay, that's all I can really tell you. All right, that's pretty much it, guys. I don't know. Hey, Mike, are you watching this? Any good questions? Maybe I'll take one or two. Otherwise, I'm just gonna call it a night. I'm already tired. Yeah, if you would like to support my work, please. I mean, there is a donation code, but that's okay. I'm doing fine. But please use the affiliate codes, right? If you were planning to sign up for any, check out the affiliate and referrals link. If you plan to sign up for or buy any of these products, I gotta actually finish filling out my Amazon shopping list of products that I like. If you have an interest for any of these products, please use the affiliate codes. I mean, that's one way you can support these videos that I'm bringing to you every day. All right, what do we got here? Yeah, you know what? Not today, but sometime next week, I'll talk about Tony Robbins and that whole angle of things. It was interesting. It was definitely interesting. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I know there wasn't all that much information for you, but yeah, just like if you see another like rough candle, like it's not good. Like I'm not happy about this at all, right? Like it's but hey, my consulting service and my seminars are becoming cheap in US dollar terms, right? I mean, I'm still charging 0.1 Bitcoin to attend my seminar to learn trading. It's a hell of a lot cheaper now than it was when I did the Toronto event, as Bitcoin was breaking 20 or in the vicinity of 20K. All right, that's about it. A couple of people pointed out to me that they were trading the 12-hour chart, and they said on the 12-hour chart there was, and here it is, actually looking at it for the first time. A couple of my clients said they were paying attention to the 12-hour chart, and it significantly helped them buy the dip between the 13 with the green arrow and the 9 arrow on the bottom using the 12-hour chart. So good for you guys. Good for you that we're able to get it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. This was the 4-hour chart, right? So according to the 4-hour chart, the short trade came back on the table the moment the red 2 started trading below the red 1. So right around here. Um, right around here, the time indicator informs you to go short. And while this, well, it's actually in line with the daily. I mean, this reversal, I mean, the 7600 was, I selected that based on more traditional technical analysis, not the time indicator. The time indicator tells you to go short when the red 2 starts trading below the red 1, and your anticipation is a 9 candle move to the downside. And we're on a 6, and we're going to new lows. So, like I said, I'm not going to stick around, but at this point, the 4-hour has gone bearish. The daily is, I mean, technically the daily never stopped being bearish, but we were all hopeful that this was the real bounce. But this time indicator, remained bearish. I mean, you still see the red numbers, and hope maybe it will, reverse us on a 9, but I'm still expecting, I mean, I'm not expecting 7,600, 7,500 to hold again, right? Now, now I have to look for a lower bounce, and the problem is that the 200 days coming up. And I mean, technically, there's still a little bit of room from the triangle target, but this triangle target is just there for you to have a target. It doesn't mean that this is the area of a bounce. It has nothing to do with that. Most times that you fall out of a triangle, you start to make another triangle for another leg down. Like, this is just a target to take a profit from your short trade. It does not tell you to be a bull here. It tells you to take profit from the short trade. Okay, so I mean, a little bit lower, and that's it. I have to start looking for lower targets here, and I'll take another look tomorrow. I mean, at the moment, I don't really have a lower target. I was really eyeing that 7,600, but my next lower target is probably down at 5,000. I mean, this is the problem, right? This is what I try to explain to people. The moment 10,000 cracks, there's just no support until 7,600. And if 7,600 cracks, there's really no support until 5,000. And 5,000 is significantly weaker support than 7,600 is. Doesn't mean it can't bounce the price. It just means that the probability of it bouncing the price is actually smaller. But don't forget, this pink channel that has been on my charts in forever. If you go back, to my 2016 presentations, you would see this channel and this purple channel. And this purple channel was really, really good. And we're still so far above this purple channel. Like, Bitcoin is just overextended, so it's okay. But because we went up so far, so fast, there's just no resistance. This is why it crashes so quickly. And if we don't bounce immediately, creating another candle with a giant wick on the downside, 7,600 is not going to hold. So, I mean, technically there's 7,600 on Bitfinex, which will probably be about 7,000 on other exchanges. But this is not looking good at all. Not looking good at all, guys. Sorry. No reversal candle. Not good. Well, that's a good question. When would there be a good time to short? Well, the 4-hour chart told you to short at below 9,000, right? That's what the 4-hour chart said according to the time indicator. The 1-hour chart told you to short. Again, if you understand how to trade these indicators, the 1-hour chart told you to short here, right as you are breaking this solid line, which is known as the risk line, and the red 2 started trading below the red 1. So the 1-hour chart told you to short at 8,700. The 4-hour told you to short at 9,025, or at least told you to get out of your long. Technically, this is a bit of a conflict, right? So the time indicator told you to still be short, while the traditional metrics you buy above the hammer, but you have to set a stop loss somewhere. So if you're very bullish off of this bounce, like I actually was, your stop loss is probably over here. And I know that's a very generous stop loss, and I probably would have panic sold this thing earlier. But you have a little bit of leeway here. And if it's a losing trade, it's a losing trade. But again, we need to bounce and bounce strong immediately, or we're looking for lower targets below 7,000, guys. That's pretty much what I'm looking at. All right. I don't have a new low for you, right? So let's hope I wake up in the morning and we're not sitting at like $5,000, right? I just don't have one. I'm still hopeful that the bottom is in for 7,600, and tomorrow I'll have to, make up my mind one way or another. But 5,000 is weak support, 3,000 is weak support. The next strong support is the top of this channel, the bottom of this channel, which are currently at around 3,900 and 2,500. And other than that, very strong support at 1,300, 1,350 area. All right. So good luck to your trading, guys. Make your own decisions, make wise decisions. And I will see you all on the next one. Thank you to 2,000 people that are watching me live. And let's see what happens overnight. Talk to you all later. Good night, guys.